In today's session, we are going to take a look at a few applications of coordinate geometry. So imagine that we have two line segments, and let us name these line segments as line segment AB and line segment CD. And let us assume that the coordinates of these line segments or the coordinates of the endpoints of these line segments is known, right? Assume that the coordinates of A and B is known. Assume that the coordinates of C and D is also known. Now I want to check if AB and CD are equal in length, right? So the way I can check whether AB and CD are equal in length or not is I can first find the distance between the points A and B. So first find the distance between the points A comma B, and that is going to be equal to the length of the line segment AB. Similarly, I can find the distance between C and D, and that is going to be the length of the line segment CD. Now, once I find the lengths of these line segments, I can definitely find whether they are equal in length or not. So what we are trying to do here is we are trying to use the distance formula to calculate the distance between different points, and using the lengths of those line segments, we are trying to conclude whether the length of the line segments are equal or not. So we are going to use this particular principle to now answer a few questions. So let us take the first question. So suppose I have been given 4 points. So let us mark 4 points A, B, C and D. I want to check whether ABCD forms a parallelogram. So now using distance formula, I want to check how can I find whether this figure is a parallelogram. So let us join A with B, let us join B and C, let us join C and D, and then let us also join A and D. So now I want to check whether the quadrilateral ABCD is a parallelogram. So what I can do is I know the coordinates of these 4 points. I know the coordinates of A, I know the coordinate of B, I know the coordinates of C, and I know the coordinates of D. What I can now do is I can find the length of AB. So find the length of AB. Then I can also find the length of BC. I can find the length of CD, and then I can also find the length of DA. Suppose this length comes out to be 5 units and 5 units. So assume that AB and DC both come out to be 5 units. This is just an assumption, and assume that AD and BC also turn out to be 8 units each. Now you will notice that the opposite sides are equal in length, right? So AB and CD are equal in length. Similarly, BC and AD are also equal in length. So I can say that since the lengths of the opposite sides are equal, this particular figure is a parallelogram. So the property that I'm using here is the lengths of the opposite sides of the parallelogram are equal to each other, right? This is how I'm checking whether ABCD is a parallelogram. And similarly, if they ask me to find the length of the diagonal, what I can do is I can find the distance between AC and also find the distance between B and D. So I can find the diagonals AC by calculating the distance between A and C. and I can also find the diagonal. I can also find the diagonal BD by finding the distance between B and D, right? So because the coordinates are known, I can definitely use distance formula. Hence, distance formula can be used to find whether a given quadrilateral is a parallelogram or not, provided the four vertices are known. So pausing for a few seconds while you take a look at this particular concept, and then I will take up the next idea. Okay, let us now take up the next idea. So suppose I have 4 points given to me. Okay, I want to check whether they form a rectangle or not. So let's assume that I have 4 points A. The coordinates are known. The coordinate of B is also known. The coordinate of C is also known. And the coordinate of D is also known, right? Now again what I can do here is I can use the property that the opposite sides are equal in length, correct? So I can again find the distance between AB. So using distance formula I can find AB and CD and show that AB and CD are equal. So I can say that AB equal to CD, and I can also find the distance between A and D. So that is distance AD, and I can also find the distance between B and C, that would be the length of BC. So if AB is equal to CD and AD is equal to BC, I know that this particular shape, I know that this shape is a parallelogram to the minimum, right? But I want to show that ABCD is a rectangle. So now I have to think about what differentiates a parallelogram and a rectangle. That is, what is the difference between a parallelogram and a rectangle? So if you think about it, the difference between parallelogram and rectangle is its diagonals are equal. So in case of a rectangle, I should go ahead and even find the length of AC. I should also find the length of BD, and if AB is equal to CD and AD is equal to BC, the shape is a parallelogram. We know that. However, if AB is equal to CD and AD is equal to BC, and along with that, if I can show that the length AC is equal to the length BD, this means that the diagonals are also equal, then this means that this is a this is a rectangle, right? So in a parallelogram, opposite sides are equal, whereas in a rectangle, along with the opposite sides, so opposite sides are equal, and along with that, the diagonals are also equal, right? So this means that I now have a rectangular shape. So this is how I would distinguish between a parallelogram and a rectangle. There is one more way to distinguish between a parallelogram and a rectangle. So what I can do is I can now show that if I show that angle D is equal to 90 degrees, if I can show that angle D equals 90, then I can say that ABCD is a parallelogram. Is a rectangle, right? So if angle D is 90, I can show that ABCD is a rectangle. Now to show that angle D is 90, I will have to show that this particular triangle, I have to show that triangle ACD satisfies the Pythagoras theorem. So I have to show that AC square is equal to AD square plus CD square. So if I can show this, if I can show that this relation is true, then I can say that ABCD is a rectangle. So another check for a rectangle would be, I should show that AB and CD are equal. I should also show that AD and BC are equal. This means that the opposite sides are equal. And on top of that, I should also show that AC square is equal to AD square plus BC square, because this will imply that one of the angles, angle D, is equal to 90 degree. And then you can definitely say that you have a rectangular shape, right? So these are the two ways by which you can show that a particular figure is a rectangle. So again, pausing for a minute while you take a look at both these conditions, and then we shall continue with our next shape. Okay, so now let us take up the next shape. How can I prove that ABCD is a rhombus, right? So we know that there is a property of rhombus. So let us quickly draw a rhombus. Rhombus is that quadrilateral which has all its sides equal to each other, right? So the simple test for showing or for proving that ABCD is a rhombus. So assume that this is ABCD. ABCD. Now if I want to show that this particular shape is a rhombus, it's going to be quite simple. I will have to find the length AB. I will have to find the length BC. I have to find the length CD and DA. That is, I have to find all the four lengths. I can find these lengths because the length AB is going to be the distance between point A and B. And since the coordinates of A and B are known, I can definitely find the distance. So I would use the coordinates of all the 4 points and I would find the distance between these points. And once I find the distance, I can therefore find the, I can show that this particular shape is a rhombus. So after you find all the 4 lengths, if the length of AB is equal to the length of BC is equal to the length of CD is equal to the length of DA, then I can conclude that the shape is a rhombus. Now if I want to find the area of this rhombus, I know that area of a rhombus is given by half times product of the diagonals, that is diagonal 1 multiplied by diagonal 2. So what I would do is I would use the distance formula to calculate the distance between A and C. I would also use the distance formula to calculate the distance between B and D. So these would be the two diagonals and therefore the area would be half into AC multiplied by BD. This would give me the area of the rhombus, right? So this is how I can find the area of the rhombus, and this is how I can show that the given quadrilateral is a rhombus. So again, pausing for a few seconds before moving on to the next shape. So now let us take a look at the next shape. Let us now assume that we have 4 points A, B, C and D. We want to prove that this is a square, right? So let's assume that the coordinates of these 4 points are given. If I want to prove that this particular shape is a square, I will have to consider the following. In a square, all 4 sides are equal. So I will have to first find the length of AB. I have to find the length of BC, CD and DA. And then if these 4 lengths are equal, so if AB is equal to BC is equal to CD is equal to DA, then I can say that it is a rhombus for sure, right? However, what differentiates between a square and rhombus? there are two differences between a square and rhombus. So in one case, what I can do is, I can say that if all the lengths are equal, that is if AB is equal to BC is equal to CD is equal to DA, and in a square the diagonals are equal to each other, right? So what I can do is, I can find the length of BD and then I can also find the length of AC using the distance formula. So if BD and AC are equal to each other, it means that the diagonals are equal, then I can say that ABCD is a square, right? This is how I can prove that the given figure is a square. That's one idea. The other idea would be, I can again show that the lengths of four sides are equal. So if AB is equal to BC is equal to CD is equal to DA, that is all sides are equal, and I know that one difference between a square and a parallelogram would be the angle at the vertex of the square is always a right angle. This means that in this particular triangle, I can consider triangle ADC. Oops. So in case of a square, I know that angle D has to be a 90. And how can I check if angle D is 90? I can check if AC square is equal to AD square plus DC square. I know that Pythagoras theorem is getting satisfied. So if Pythagoras theorem gets satisfied, then I can say that the angle is 90 and hence ABCD is going to be a square, right? So there are two things that you can do. One is you show that all the sides are equal and all the diagonals are equal. That's one technique. And the other technique for you to use is, you can show that all sides are equal, and if Pythagoras theorem holds true in one of the triangles, you can say that I have a square. So these are the two ways by which you can prove that the given quadrilateral is a square. Let me again pause for a few seconds before taking up the next shape. Let us now discuss about the next shape. So how can I prove that a triangle is isosceles? So consider you have 3 points, say A, B and C. Assume that the coordinates of these points are given, right? So assume that coordinates of A, B and C are known. I can definitely find all the three sides. So using coordinates of A and B, I can find the length of AB. Using the coordinates of A and C, I can find the length of AC. And using the coordinates of B and C, I can find the length of BC. If any two sides are equal in length, right? If any two sides are equal in length, then it means that the triangle is isosceles. Correct? So finding three distances, and if any two of those distances are equal, then I can say that I have an isosceles triangle. So similarly, let us now consider the condition for an equilateral triangle. So let us consider 3 points are given to me, A, B and C. The coordinates of these points is known. Let us assume that. So using coordinates of A and C, I can find AC. I can find the length of AC. Using coordinates of A and B, I can find the length of AB. And using coordinates of B and C, I can find the length of BC. Now, if all the three lengths are equal, then I can say that the triangle is equilateral, right? So this is how I can prove that a given triangle is equilateral. So in case of an isosceles triangle, two sides are equal in length, whereas in case of an equilateral triangle, all three sides should be equal in length. So this is how I can use distance formula to prove that the shapes are a specific set of quadrilaterals or triangles, and I am applying distance formula to find the lengths of those sides of the given figure. Let us now discuss about how to prove that a triangle is right angled. So to prove that the triangle is a right angled triangle, so suppose we have three vertices that are known. I know the vertex A, the coordinates of vertex A, I know the coordinates of vertex B, and I know the coordinate of vertex C. Then I can use coordinates of A and C to find the length of AC. I can use the coordinates of B and C to find the length of BC. And I can use the coordinates of A and B to find the length of AB. And if AC square is equal to AB square plus BC square, then I know that by converse of Pythagoras theorem, I can say that angle B is equal to 90 degrees. So to show that a given triangle is a right angle triangle, I can definitely use the converse of Pythagoras to prove it. And of course, how can I find the lengths of the sides? Using the distance formula. So using the distance formula, we can definitely identify the nature of the shapes. And now we are going to talk about how to use distance formula to distinguish between collinear and non-collinear points. So let me leave you with this slide for a couple of seconds, and then we will discuss about collinearity using distance formula. So let us discuss about collinearity. So if I give you 3 points, there are two ways that you can place them. So one way in which you can place those 3 points is in a straight line. So assume that you have placed it in the following order: A, B and C. And the other way in which you can place these 3 points is you can make a triangle out of it, right? So if the points are not in a straight line, then you will have a triangle getting formed. So this is going to be A, B and C. Now I can use the distance formula. So assume that the coordinates of all the points are known, right? And in the first case, so this is the case of collinearity, where all the points are collinear. Collinear means they lie on the same straight line. So what I can say is the distance between AB and the distance between BC, these two distances will add up, and that would be equal to the distance between the points A and C. So I can say that if sum of any two sides, or if sum of any two lengths is equal to the third length, I can say that the 3 points are collinear. right? Whereas in case of a triangle, I know that according to the triangle inequality, I know that sum of any two sides is always greater than the third side. So AB plus AC will be greater than BC, and AC plus BC will be greater than AB, and of course the third combination would be AB plus AC, AB plus BC, AB plus BC would be greater than AC. So in case of a triangle, sum of any two lengths will always be greater than the third length, whereas in case of collinear points, sum of two sides will be equal to the third side. Of course, if you take sum of AB and AC, it will be greater than BC. There is no doubt about it. So according to this figure, if I add AB plus AC, it will be greater than BC. And of course, if I add BC with AC, it will be greater than AB. However, there is one combination where sum of two lengths is equal to the third length, and this distinguishes collinear points against non-collinear points, right? So I can use distance formula to check for collinearity. So find all the three distances, and if sum of two distances is equal to the third distance, then I can say that the points are collinear. So again, let me pause for a couple of seconds, and then we will start taking up some questions. So let us take up some questions based on coordinate geometry now, especially applying distance formula to calculate the nature of the different shapes. Let us take up the first question. Show that these points with the coordinates are collinear. So let us draw a rough diagram. Of course, I do not know if they are collinear or not. So let me just plot, say, points like this. I know their coordinates, right? A is 1 comma minus 1, B is 5 comma 2, and the coordinate of C is 9 comma 5. Now what I can do is I can find using distance formula. Using distance formula, I can find all the three lengths. So using distance formula, I would get AB is equal to under root of x2 minus x1 the whole square plus y2 minus y1 the whole square, which is equal to under root of 1 minus 5 is negative 4. So negative 4 the whole square plus negative 3 the whole square, and that becomes under root of 16 plus 9, which is equal to under root of 25, and under root of 25 is basically 5 units, right? Similarly, I can also find the distance between B and C. So BC is going to be under root of, so when I find BC, I should be focusing on coordinates of B and C. So it would be 5 minus 9 the whole square, that's the difference between their x coordinates, plus 2 minus 5 the whole square, and that is going to be under root of 5 minus 9 is minus 4 the whole square, plus 2 minus 5 is minus 3 the whole square, which is under root of 16 plus 9, and that is root 25, which is again 5 units. So I don't know whether these points are collinear or not, but I definitely know that the length of AB is equal to the length of BC. So just as a side note, I can say that the point B is equidistant is equidistant from A and C. Now nobody asked us this, but based on the results that we obtained, I just wanted to bring this to your notice. Now let us find the distance between A and C. So again, using the distance formula, if I want to find the distance between A and C, now I should be focusing on coordinates of A and C, right? So AC would therefore be under root of the difference in their x coordinates, that is 1 minus 9 the whole square, plus the difference in their y coordinates, that is -1, -5 the whole square, and that is going to be under root of 1 minus 9 is -8 the whole square plus -6 the whole square, which is going to be under root of 64 plus 36, and that is going to be under root of 100, which is equal to 10 units, right? So the distance between the points A and C is therefore equal to 10 units. So this distance is 5 units, this distance is 5 units, and distance between A and C is 10 units. So now I notice that AB plus BC is equal to AC because 5 plus 5 is 10, and therefore I can say that A, B and C are collinear points. Now of course nobody has asked us for any more information. However, I noticed that B, so this is for our extra information, I noticed that B is the midpoint of AC, because the length of AB is equal to the length of BC. That means the correct way to represent these 3 points would now be, I have A here, I have C here, and B lies exactly in between, right? Which is 5 units and 5 units. So AB is 5 units, BC is 5 units, and AC is 10 units. So this is how I can use distance formula to find if points are collinear. Pausing for a few seconds before we move on. Moving on to the next question. The next question says, show that these points form a rectangle. Also find the area of the rectangle. So okay, I do not know whether these points would form a rectangle, but let me just draw a quadrilateral. So this is A of 0, -1. This is B of 6, 7. This is C of -2, 3. And this is D of 8, 3. So now if I want to show that it is a rectangle, I should be calculating all 4 sides first. So using distance formula, let me find AB. So AB is going to be equal to under root of, now when I am finding AB, make sure that you use coordinates of A and B. So it would be 0 minus 6 the whole square, the difference between the x coordinates, plus -1, -7 the whole square, and that is going to be under root of -6 square is 36 plus -8 square is 64, and that equals square root of 100, which is 10 units. So I got the length of AB as 10 units. Now let me find the length of BC. So to find the length of BC, I should now make use of coordinates of B and C, right? So let us consider the coordinates of B and C. So the difference in their x coordinates would be 6 minus of -2, 6 minus of -2 the whole square, plus 7 minus 3 the whole square. So that becomes under root of 6 plus 2, 8 square is 64 plus 4 square is 16, and that is equal to root 80, and root 80 is 4 root 5 units, right? So this length is therefore 4 under root of 5 units. Similarly, let's find the length of AD. So AD is therefore going to be under root of, now to find AD, we will have to take coordinates of A and D. So let us take up the coordinates of A and D. So this would be under root of 0 minus 8 the whole square plus negative 1 negative 3 the whole square, and that is equal to under root of negative 8 square is 64 plus negative 4 square is 16, and that is root 80, and root 80 is 4 root 5 units, right? So this particular length is also equal to 4 root 5 units. So now I immediately see that AD and BC are equal to each other. And now let us find the length DC. So to find the length DC would be under root of 8 minus of minus 2. So 8 minus of minus 2 the whole square. That's the difference between the x coordinates of D and C. So now that I'm calculating DC, I should take up the x coordinate of D and C and subtract them, as well as the y coordinate. So 3 minus 3 the whole square. And that becomes under root of 8 plus 2. 8 plus 2 is 10. 10 square plus 0 square, which is 100. And square root of 100 is now 10 units. So now you will notice that the length of DC is also 10 units. So I notice that AB is equal to DC. These two lengths are equal. And the length of AD and BC is also equal. So it is a parallelogram to the minimum. Now to go ahead and prove that it is a rectangle, I will prefer finding the length of AC. So to find the length of AC, I would take the coordinates of A and C. So AC would be under root of 0 minus of minus 2, 0 minus of minus 2 the whole square, plus negative 1 negative 3 the whole square, and that is going to be under root of 2 square is 4 plus negative 4 square is 16, and that is going to be root 20 units. Similarly, the length BD is going to be equal to under root of, the difference in their x coordinates is 8 minus 6 the whole square plus 3 minus 7 the whole square, and that is going to be under root of 2 square is 4 and negative 4 square is 16. So that's going to be root 20 units. So now you will notice that the length of the diagonal AC and BD is both equal to each other, and because the lengths of the diagonals are equal to each other, I can say that the given quadrilateral is a rectangle now. So we have opposite sides equal to each other and the diagonals equal to each other, and therefore this is going to be a rectangle. So again, pausing for a minute before moving on to the next one. Moving on to the next question. Let us consider the following problem. Show that these vertices form an isosceles triangle. So to show that it forms an isosceles triangle, again I will use distance formula to calculate the three lengths. So using distance formula, I can now find the length of AB. I can also find the length of BC, and I can also find the length of AC. So to find the length of AB, I will use the coordinates of A and B. So A and B would be under root of 6 minus 5 the whole square plus 4 minus of minus 2 the whole square, and that is going to be under root of 1 square plus 6 square, that is going to be under root of 1 plus 36, and that is going to be root 37 units. This is the length of AB. And now let's find the length of BC. So BC would be under root of, now B and C, if you take B and C side, the length between the points B and C, it would be under root of 5 minus 7 the whole square plus negative 2 minus of negative 2 the whole square. So this becomes under root of 5 minus 7 is negative 2, that's square is 4, plus this is 0, and 4 plus 0 is 4, that means this is going to be 2 units. And let us find the length of AC. So AC, for AC, we will now take up the coordinates of A and C. So this is going to be under root of 6 minus 7 the whole square plus 4 minus of minus 2 the whole square, and therefore this becomes under root of 6 minus 7 the whole square is negative 1 square plus 6 square, and that is again going to be 1 plus 36, which is root 37 units. So now you notice that the length of AB and AC is equal. So AB and AC is equal to each other, right? Therefore we have AB and AC equal to each other, and that is why this particular triangle is isosceles, right? Because these two lengths are equal to each other. I found that the lengths are root 37 and root 37, and the unequal side is equal to 2 units. Therefore, this particular triangle is isosceles. So pausing for a few seconds before taking up the next one. Let's take up the next question. Show that these 3 points form an isosceles triangle. Again, let us find the length of AB. So to find the length of AB, I am going to take coordinates of A and B. So it is going to be 3 minus 6 the whole square plus 5 minus 9 the whole square, and that is going to be under root of 3 minus 6 is negative 3 the whole square plus 5 minus 9 is negative 4, and 5 minus 9 becomes minus 4, so this is minus 4 the whole square. This is under root of negative 3 square is 9 plus negative 4 square is 16, so this becomes root 25, which is 5 units. And similarly, if I want to find the length of BC, so to find the length of BC, I should take the points B and C, right? So to find the length of BC, BC would be under root of 6 minus 2 the whole square plus 9 minus 6 the whole square, that is under root of 4 square plus 3 square, and that is again 16 plus 9, 25's root is 5. So this is also 5 units. So I find that AB and BC are equal, and just for the sake of curiosity, let us now find the length AC. To find the length of AC, I should be taking up the coordinates of A and C. So this is going to be 3 minus 2 the whole square plus 5 minus 6 the whole square. That is under root of 1 square plus negative 1 square, that is equal to root 2 units. So therefore, I notice that in this particular figure, the points are definitely not collinear because sum of two lengths is always greater than the third length in this case. So it is forming a triangle in which the length of AB and BC is equal. So I have the length of AB is 5 units and the length of BC is also 5 units. And the unequal length is root 2 units, right? So because these two lengths are equal, I can say that the triangle is isosceles. So again, pausing for a few seconds before taking up the next one. Let's take up the next question. Show that these vertices form a rectangle. So again, let me draw a rough figure and let me place the points. So A of 0, 2, B of 1, 1, C of 4, 4 and D of 3, 5. So using distance formula, I can now find all the four distances. Rather, to show that it is a rectangle, I would find AB, I would find BC, I would find CD and DA, and I would go ahead and even find the diagonals AC and BD. So let me find AB. So to find AB, I need to take vertices of A and B. So that would be 0 minus 1 the whole square plus 2 minus 1 the whole square. To find the length of BC, I would take coordinates of B and C, that is 1 minus 4 the whole square plus 1 minus 4 the whole square. To find the length of CD, I would take 4 minus 3 the whole square plus 4 minus 5 the whole square. To find the length of DA, I would take the points would be A and D, so it would be 0 minus 3 the whole square plus 5 minus 2 the whole square. So these are the distances. Let us now go ahead and calculate them. So this would be root of negative 1 square is positive 1 plus 2 minus 1 is also 1. So this becomes root 2 units. So the length of AB is equal to square root of 2 units. Let us now find the length of BC. So BC would be under root of negative 3 the whole square plus negative 3 the whole square. That's going to be square root of 9 plus 9, that's 18. And I know that I can write root 18 as 3 root 2 units. That means the length of BC is equal to 3 square root of 2 units. To find CD, I would do under root of 4 minus 3, that's 1 square is 1. And 4 minus 5 is negative 1. So negative 1 square is also positive 1. So this becomes square root of 2 units. So the length of DC is also root 2 units. And if I want to find the length of DA, now this would be negative 3 square is positive 9. 3 square is also positive 9. So this is root 18, that is equal to 3 root 2 units, right? So this is how we can find the lengths of all four sides, and I notice that the opposite lengths are equal to each other, which means that this is a parallelogram to the bare minimum. And now if I want to find the length of AC, so I know the coordinates of A and C. It would be 0 minus 4 the whole square plus 2 minus 4 the whole square. That is square root of negative 4 square is 16 and negative 2 square is 4. So this becomes root 20 units, and I know that root 20 can be written as 2 root 5. So one diagonal, the diagonal AC, is equal to square root 2 root 5 units. So this is equal to 2 root 5 units. And similarly, the length of BD can be calculated as taking B and D coordinates. So it would be root of 3 minus 1 the whole square plus 5 minus 1 the whole square. That's going to be root of 2 square is 4 and 4 square is 16. So it becomes root 20 units, which is again equal to 2 root 5 units, right? So this is how we calculate the lengths of the diagonals, and the length of the diagonals is equal to 2 root 5 units each. So because the opposite sides are equal and the diagonals are equal, I can therefore say that I have a rectangle. So I can say that since the opposite lengths or opposite sides are equal in length, and the diagonals are also equal, I can say that it is a rectangle. And now they have not asked me to calculate the area of this particular rectangle, but in case they ask, the area is going to be length multiplied by the breadth. So it is going to be root 2 multiplied by 3 root 2, which is equal to root 2 into root 2 is 2, 2 3s are 6. So this is 6 square units. So the area of this rectangle is equal to 6 square units. So pausing for a minute, and we end our today's session here. In today's session, we understood how to use the distance formula to find the nature of different shapes, and we will take up some more questions on distance formula in the next session. Pausing for a minute and concluding today's session here. Ending today's session here.